Greetings once again, spacefaring adventurers. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with another chapter of Eden Zero, where previously, Shiki has put his plan into motion. Having chose his friends over the universe, Mother has started to dissipate. However, Shiki's plan is to summon a chronophage. Initially, I believed that Rebecca would be the bait, but in fact, the chronophage goes after all time travel, and that includes the crew of Eden. So they put out word to their B-Cuber friends, Lobelia and Couchfu, whose memories return. Finally, that plot point came back into play, to get in contact with all the other B-Cubers who, unfortunately, none of which remember Rebecca and what she did for them, but it is what it is. Got to see some familiar faces like Nino. Put the word out so that they can track the chronophage and figure out a way to draw it towards them. Unfortunately, the crew of Edens comes under attack by the Edens One itself, trying to push it down to a nearby planet. During the desperate situation, suddenly, the Eden Zero is boarded by two figures. The swordswoman robot that inspired Valkyrie Lady Frey, and none other than Dead End Cure. Characters I've been waiting to see how they'd get involved, and during this desperate moment of tension, what better time? And Dead End Cure has used his abilities to encase most of the other crew in robotic cable, with only Homura, Chris, and Klein being freed. And so, Homura goes after Lady Freya, and the siblings go after Dead End Cure. Will they be able to make it in time? Join me as I find out, won't you? We pick up in space aboard Rebecca's Leo Starfighter, with Shiki calling out, "The Eden Zero has ended the transmission." Rebecca wonders, "I wonder if something happened." She then says, "Hey Shiki, what do you mean you're going to destroy the chronophage?" Shiki tells her, "Well, as long as it's around, the cosmoses will never have peace for everlasting peace." It's Eden Zero, chapter 279. Super Ziggy. Oh boy, Ziggy's gonna go into that overdrive. A cute little color spread of the shining stars. And it's only because of this that it's actually dawned on me that each of the stars has an interesting, I want to say deep, but some of them are kind of complicated, relation with the four main characters of sort. Rebecca, Wise, Shiki, and Homura. And Valkyrie raised Homura, which has a very motherly bond with Shiki that goes even farther beyond that. I never actually thought about the relationship between Wise and Hermit though. I mean, it was always kind of there and it always kind of felt more like friends, but now recently it's kind of almost going in the direction of something deeper than that, which kind of took me off guard. And then there's Sister's weird obsession with Rebecca, especially considering it was Rebecca who got Sister's memories back. It's one of those understated things that is always mostly played for laughs, you know? So that one really kind of took me off guard. I don't know, maybe Mashima wanted to do more with that, or maybe it's just something he realized too. It's kind of hard to say. I know these relationships are a little lopsided in my opinion, but let's get into the chapter proper. Happy questions. Can you destroy it? Shiki turns to Happy and smiles, saying, "Yeah, that's gonna be my last job." Rebecca has a somber look on her face, saying, "Don't say last." But Shiki continues smiling confidently, saying, "Sorry, not last. I meant it will be the finale of this adventure." Oh no, I feel like Shiki's planning something we ain't gonna like. Meanwhile, down on the planetoid, the Eden Zero continues to desperately run from the Edens One, desperately trying to get away. While on board the Eden Zero, Dead End Cure, who is summoning more and more robotic tentacles, faces off with Jin and Klein. Jin calls out, "Klein, take control of the ship." Klein says, "Got it." But before she can move, Dead End Cure says, "Oh no you don't." Cure points his finger and seems to be about to fire a beam, but Jin uses his ether gear to summon wind that whips all around Cure, causing several slashes all across Cure's body. Jin shoots Cure a menacing glare, saying, "Just try and lay a finger on my sister. I'll make you dead." I mean, he's already dead, and it feels nice to actually have Jin in an actual fight. I don't know, it's the same thing I had with Laguna, where it just constantly feels like they end up in the back seat of a lot of situations. Sometimes that's the only downside to a lot of Mashima's work. He'll make a lot of fun and compelling characters, but he doesn't always manage to give them a lot to do. Oh, Cure falls to pieces. Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling about that. As Cure crumbles away, Jin looks down on him saying, I guess he's already dead. But the severed head of Cure begins to chuckle. And he just simply reassembles himself. As Cure rises, he tells Jin, my power is regeneration. The wrong way to use healing magic. Jin discards his cloak, which is unfortunate. I like him in the cloak. But he says, now that you mention it, I remember that, and it's a pain in the neck. I am sad that Klein isn't going to help tag team. That is kind of a bummer. I was actually hoping Klein would actually get a solid fight. Regardless, we then cut to Homura making her way through the halls of the Eden Zero when she notices something saying, this ether. Ooh, butt shot. 'Tis dreadfully frightful, like an enormous power about to birth. Here? Oh god, the hot spring room. The Bath of Edens. Oh, what the? Oh god. Oh, well, at least she has personality, because I think we see Lady Freya face down in the Spa of Edens? Much to Homura's shock. Oh god. And she's just in there. You ain't seeing nothing but legs coming out of the water. But then the water starts to bubble over. Oh, Homura questions, the water evaporated? Yeah. I just love the confident pose. Just on her head. Arms folded. I wasn't expecting that. I kinda love it. What a goober. Huh. You know what? I don't know if this is the case, but she kinda makes me think of the one nurse, or the fake sister, you know? When we first initially started looking for Sister. She kind of makes me think of her. I doubt it. I don't think it's her, because I did mention, I don't think we actually saw the fake sister in this version. Homura just simply tells Lady Freya, the spa is where the crew comes for rest and relaxation. I would ask that outsiders vacate immediately. Freya then rights herself right side up and simply says, let me introduce myself. I was created on a certain planet to be used as a weapon of war. I was programmed with every military strategy in existence. I was meant to work as a soldier that could use every armament. But I rejected that plan, she says as she walks towards Homura. I had no interest in the conflicts humans fought amongst themselves, but I did have an interest in strength. After all, I was given this body. I wanted to see what I could do. Ooh, she's pretty. As a result, the war ended. A total of approximately 1.6 billion humans died from both sides. Jesus! All at my hand. Uh-oh. Freya then makes some kind of swift motion with her hands, and something hits Homura and then her clothes falls off. Yep, and wow. She turns Homura's clothes into just all these fine cuts. And, you know, I've always wondered, but maybe it was already confirmed, but I think this confirms that Homura doesn't wear underwear. I don't know how she would with, you know, the tight little whatever bodysuit she's got going on under her clothes and stuff. But Homura blushes in shock as her clothes are cut into very little pieces. Freya gives a sneer saying, I believe it is standard for humans to disrobe when entering the bath. Aw, she a freak. Good. I like this. Homura, who is befuddled, thinks to herself, I failed to see it. Oh man, Freya brought out the swords too. Dual wielding. As Homura shakes either from fear or being cold now that she's in the buff. Homura thinks to herself, after all my training, after finally earning my teacher's seal of approval, Homura grits her teeth, thinking, I could not see a single flash of her sword. One may be skilled, but there is always someone better, I know that. No, legs, you must stop shaking. My legs exist to carry me forward. Homura does just that. She moves forward towards her opponent. Oh! Oh right, the title of this chapter. Meanwhile, we pick up with Ziggy's clash against the Void as they exchange mutual blows with their fists. Ziggy questions, our gravity powers are evenly matched, eh? But Void then tells him, but I also have power over time. And Void uses that to accelerate his movements, managing to get behind Ziggy. He prepares to strike, saying, you cannot defeat me. But we see Ziggy's eyes move to Void behind him. Whoa, what the heck? Overdrive. Jesus! What a form! Friggin' looks like Chernobog from Night on Bald Mountain. As Ziggy manages to just swiftly strike Void back. Void questions Overdrive, and before he could even think, Ziggy plunges his fist through Void's entire body. Alright, in terms of battles, I will say, Jin versus Cure is interesting just because of the fact that I knew Jin, he wanted to take down Cure. He did want to take down Cure. And while I am glad to see Jin get into a fight, do his thing. Hopefully he manages to get a nice triumphant moment like Laguna. But at the same time, I do kind of wish we were seeing Klein, tag team with her brother. And then Homura's fight against Lady Freya. Lady Freya has a lot of personality. Of course, Mashima uses that as an excuse to have her strip Homura, which that's Mashima. With all the stuff from Mashima I've read up until now, it's just like, yeah, that's Mashima. But I am interested to see how Homura overcomes this, especially considering she couldn't actually see Lady Freya's movement. I did kind of think that if we were going to have a situation like this, it would be one where Homura was taking on Lady Freya while Valkyrie was busy dealing with Brigadine, but that ended up not being the case. I do kind of wish that Klein was the one to take on Godak Noella, just so we could have at least given something to Klein, because, I don't know, Homura's getting a lot of, climactic moments, but I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I don't hate it, because I have said before that feels like sometimes Homura doesn't get as much as she should, but I really do find myself hoping that I don't encounter the same, feelings that I felt before, where it's just like, okay, why did these battles feel like they're ending a little too soon? Because honestly speaking, this would have been a great moment, and I keep harping on this, for all the other villains to come back. Overdrive form very much being a problem for our hero, because it still feels like Brigadine could have done more, Killer could have done more, Clown could have done more. Wizard, he went into overdrive. He put out all the stops against Witch, and he fell. So that's why I'm like, okay, Wizard's done, because he did the most. We already had seen him easily beaten by Shiki, but that showed that he was beyond Shiki's level. But we didn't know in terms of how he stacked up against Witch, and they were so evenly matched. It was almost a war of attrition, and it really came down to the wire in terms of their battle, so that's why I'm satisfied with that. But Brigadine didn't feel like he went all out, or we got the most out of what he could do. Neither with Killer, despite everything we'd seen with Killer. It's just like, I would have at least appreciated if Wise had maybe pulled out something even more bombastic. I don't know. It's just knowing that the villains have other forms that they never use just leaves me kind of questioning, well, why didn't they use it? We know Killer can do overdrive, why didn't he pull that out against Why? Why didn't we see Overdrive Sister versus Overdrive Clown? I'm still kind of stuck on the fact that Lightning Law didn't pull out an overdrive form with everything that we had heard about him. Shoot, maybe Wise could have teamed up with Joker Helix, all things considered, in the digital realm. Computer program versus Killer in the digital space, and helps out Wise in honor of Rebecca. That felt like it could have really brought a few things full circle. I feel like we should have seen Godak Noella pull out an overdrive form or something. So while I am kind of hyped for Jin to take on Cure and Homura to take on Freya, I'm left just kind of being like, is this gonna be like the others? Because then I'm kind of in the back of my mind readying myself to be like, okay, yeah, they were a speed bump, it's whatever. Because I know that if they don't overdrive, I'm just going to be like, well, why then? Why? Feels like we've had overdrives for less reasons in the past. Like bust out the cool final form, man. This is one of the few times where the Dragon Ball logic of, and now I have another transformation, should really be coming into play all over the place. But am I just letting my nitpicks get the best of me? It's just that now that we've seen Ziggy do his overdrive, then I'm expecting Void to do his overdrive. You know, the rate of escalation and all that. And if Ziggy's already pulling this out, then that means when Void pulls his out, he'll manage to defeat Ziggy, and then she will have to deal with him. I mean, I'm making it sound very predictable, but at the same time, I've always said, just because something's predictable doesn't mean it's bad. It's just sometimes means that it's the path that makes the most sense. I'd rather have that than something just blindsiding me out of nowhere. I don't know, I'm getting a little too caught up in my feelings. What was your favorite part of this, and what fight are you looking to seeing more of? Jin versus Cure? Homura versus Freya? Ziggy versus Void? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.